Hello everyone, my name's Pete Wall. I am a newly published author. My first book came out about 2 weeks ago, and it is titled Dragon's Kin, and it is part of a series called The Circle of Steel Chronicles. Um, the video is here to talk a little bit about the book, the process of publishing, and I am a self-published author, so there is a lot to go through, and it can be tedious and frustrating. So let's talk about the delivery of my proof copy. It came in this box. You can see it. Kept it nice and protected. I was told it would be about 2 weeks before it was delivered. It came in 2 days. A little bit shocking, but I was happy. Now, this is the book itself, the cover. Don't know if you can see it there. And I did have to design that cover myself. The artist I had asked to do the work didn't work out. So the design, the fonts, I didn't have a choice on. It came with the template, and at that time I just didn't have the time or the energy to try and find another artist to do the work. So I settled. Um, I'm not mad at the cover. I do like it. It looks good, and it is my first book. So let's talk about the issues I have with it besides this. Um, my wife is the editor, and she worked her ass off on this book. And I'm a paper and pen guy, so she typed it all out for me and everything. So me and her went through it together, basically adding more content and editing all of these spelling errors and grammatical errors. Um, the inside of the book we had issues with, and I'm just flipping through the book here just so I can show you. Now, as you can see right here, there's no header. At the bottom, there is no page number, and there is a reason for that. When we were putting the file into PDF format, for some reason, the header and footer messed the whole interior up. So I opted to just cut out the header, cut out the footer, and just go with, what we had. And I kind of, I just figured, the chapters are numbered. So, and most people use bookmarks these days anyway, or fold the page over. So, page numbers, headers wasn't that important to me. What was important to me was the story. And it's been a long road for this book. I've gone through a lot of health issues during the creation of this book. So it took quite a few years to do. And I wanted to finally put myself out there and let others read it. And that is my biggest problem. I should apologize for the quality of the video. I have to use a cell phone. Camera's not working right now, so I figured do the video on the cell phone and, at least talk to the readers a little bit and get to know them a little bit, and maybe they get to know me a little bit. Now, so far I've got 3 books set up for this series. I've got book 2 started. I've been kind of taking my time on it. I've had a lot of other projects in the works as well. So, and in those projects you'll see on my YouTube channel as well. But this, like I said, this is about the book. And we'll get into the other projects some other day. It took so long with creating this book, especially the publication part of it. I was actually going to go through another company at first, and I'm not going to say the name of the company, but right before I decided I was publishing, their prices just skyrocketed. And I would have had to charge for this book, the size of it, I would have had to charge potential customers about $35 for the book just so I made a $2 profit. And the rest would have gone to that publication company. I couldn't do it. And I even thought when I signed up with CreateSpace that it was expensive. I didn't want to put a $20 tag on it for a paperback. Paperback shouldn't be $20. It should be at like 10, 15 at the most, in my opinion. And but they got to get their fee as well, and they are making the book, and I don't have to put no money into it. So besides promoting, and which is the hardest thing for me, I've done radio in the past. I found that easy, but talking to people one on one to get the word out, that has been my hardest thing throughout this whole project. So maybe this video helps me a little bit. It's taken me quite a while to do it because nerves and broken camera, that doesn't help. And, just all the problems I've had in my past, it was difficult for me to put myself out there to be judged by others. And that's, I can go into that a little bit right now. Back in 1998, I was run down by a drunk driver while I was walking home. I suffered major head trauma, and I lost the ability to write. And writing has always been my passion. I've been a writer since I was a kid. I had 5 books on the go before the accident, and I couldn't finish them. I couldn't get what was in my head out onto the paper. And I struggled. And I fought other demons. I got into alcoholism. I got into drugs because of the accident. I couldn't cope with the fact that I couldn't be me anymore. And being me is being a hard worker, being able to provide for my family, and not just my immediate family, my parents, my brothers and sisters. If I could help them, I'd love helping them. But that was gone. And I still struggle with it today. You go through depression, you go through anger. You don't want to be around people. You don't want people to judge you any further because you're already judging yourself, and you're judging yourself in a very harsh way because you can't do the things you used to do. It took me 6 years and a lot of hard work to be able to start writing again. And it was only periodically. And that was frustrating to me because when you grow up one way and your passions are you, and that's taken away from you, and you judge yourself to the point where whatever you're doing afterwards, it's not good enough. And that was a big problem with bringing this book out. I couldn't see the finished product. I wanted it better. It just didn't seem finished, and I still don't think it's finished. There's going to be a lot of things people are going to ask in this book. There's going to be some holes that they think need to be filled in. Those holes in this book will be filled in, but in book 2 and book 3, and just to leave a little bit of mystery in there for them. I would have jammed it all in this book, but it would have been a 1,000-page book. And it's already, I believe it was 560 pages, something like that. So it's already a big book for people to read, and you got to leave some mystery for the next books. And the next book is called Dragon's Gate, and it is the second part of the Circle of Steel Chronicles. The main character, Solon, He starts off as a blacksmith's apprentice, and he discovers he's got a past that he didn't know he had. He is an orphan. I'm not going to get into much to the story, and it's very hard for me to explain my own writing. But he is put on a quest to help a what he believed was just a thief at the beginning, and the quest turns into something bigger, something more, and without giving anything away, it escalates. I think it's a pretty good read. I think my writing isn't as good as it once was. I've had one person that's read the book and they love it. I've sent chapters out to friends in Australia, which I want to give them a shout out. Hi, Michelle and Brett. They read 6 chapters of the very rough draft, and they've been waiting for years for it to be done. And I thank them for their patience, as well as other friends of mine, like Mark. He's been waiting for a long time, and it's finally out there, you know. So it's a lot of conquered demons, a lot of hard work on the part of myself, on the part of my wife Shannon. Um,